Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Bedford County Sports Talk Live. I'm David Thomas, and now with me is Mr. Bill Anderson. Today, Kenny Parker couldn't be with us. He's on a ball field somewhere, Bill, umpiring.
That's what we're going to have to
make
do.
up games. Make up games. This
I don't know
whole
how
week,
these kids are going to do it.
This whole week is a washout. I think junior high baseball at Harris, I only think they played the 2 or 3 games, and their league is halfway over.
Right.
Their season's halfway over, so they got a pile of games to make up, and I just don't see how they do it before school's out. But it's part of the way it is this time of the year.
Yep.
You never know when it's going to rain. Before we get started, guys, we're going to thank our sponsors. We've got First Bank here in Shelbyville, Kincaid
Service Company,
also in Shelbyville, and Corner Cleaners out on North Main Street. And then we are going to welcome in Mr. Dennis Young with Dennis Young Insurance. He is now a sponsor of Bedford County Sports Talk Live. We want to thank these sponsors. And before we get started, let's hear a word from them, Bill.
Absolutely.
Cleaners, we provide quality services you can rely on. Located in Shelbyville, we're the area's leading dry cleaner, proudly serving customers throughout Bedford County since 2001. We provide same-day dry cleaning and laundry service as well as tuxedo rentals. For customer convenience, we offer delivery and also have a drive-through and overnight drop box.
For all your dry cleaning needs, call Corner Cleaners.
Kincaid Service Company is a locally owned family business that has proudly served the Middle Tennessee area since 1934. We have a wide selection of furniture, appliances, electronics, and mattresses for every budget and design taste. We carry the brands that you know and trust, so you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Need financing? We have you covered. With our service department, you can rest assured that we will take care of you after the purchase. Visit our Shelbyville store at 400 Madison Street today.
Again, we want to thank our fine sponsors for allowing us to have the show today. Bill, I know this past week's been a washout for just about every outdoor sport you can think of. If it's baseball, softball, soccer, whatever it is, it's not been a good week for those sports to get in games.
Do swimming.
Yeah, swimming.
That's all there was to do, swim.
Down at the Duck River.
Yeah, buddy.
But I know you do have some scores that have come up since last week. What do you got?
I just go back to that tournament where Shelbyville went down to South Pittsburgh. They beat the Tennessee Monarchs 13-1, and then they beat South Pittsburgh 7-5, and then they also beat Marion County 10-1 the next day, which is on Saturday. And the big thing here was Kyler Trice got his first hit. He's back playing ball, and we're just so happy that he's gotten back to playing. That's wonderful.
That's a quick recovery after what he went through.
Absolutely, he's back playing, so that's great. But the big game that was kind of an interesting one was Shelbyville played DeKalb County on Saturday evening after the Marion County game. So they were playing double games. And they were down, I think, 6-5, bottom of the 7th. And they scored 2 runs, walk-off, and they stole 11 bases in that game.
Stole 11 bases. That's pretty good.
So it was a good walk-off win for them.
That's a good career.
So they've rescheduled the Warren County game. I think probably, I don't know how he's going to do it, week after next. I think they've got Columbia. I believe it is this week, but they have Franklin County, I think, today. Cascade Community, they had Battle of Bedford. Robbie Davis says it's not the Battle of Bedford, by the way.
Is it not? What is it called now?
He didn't want to call it that, but that's what he says. That's what Cascade calls it.
Okay,
he said you would have to have Shelbyville involved to have the real true Battle of Bedford.
That's true. That's true.
So he's kind of right on that one.
Yeah.
But Cascade beat them 8-1. Zach Crosland, Marty and Angie Crosland's boy, he had 6 innings pitched and 8 strikeouts. He's a pretty good pitcher out there, Cascade. Yeah. So Cascade now is 10-5, 3-1 in the district. Communities 8-9 and 0-3 in the district. And softball, where do you get anything?
I don't know, Bill. I know they hadn't played a lot of games.
I know.
And Kenny's out today, probably doing a lot of makeup games.
Well, I did find where Community's 7-6, 1-1 in the conference. Cascade's 0-9, 0-2. And then it says Shelbyville's played 3 games.
That's
what Coach T said.
Yeah,
and we know that's not right.
Who knows? Guys, if you are in charge of scores out there, or you know how to get the scores, please send them to us at our website, Shelbyville Now website. Our email address is admin@shelbyvillenow.com. Please send those scores to us, and we'll get them posted. We'll get them on the show. We just don't have the staff to go out and cover games and keep up with what's going on. But we would love to give you guys the recognition. Now, back to Shelbyville baseball. I think this pulls them up to about 500 now.
Yeah, a little above.
A little
11
above,
and 10.
11
now.
and 10, right. So
It's their second 4-game winning streak. So
okay, they keep this thing rolling. I know
they got to get rolling in the district because
Yeah.
we're 0-4 in the district.
yeah, and like our coach told us at the beginning of the year, it's what you're doing at the end of the year. And that's what's so important. They got to get everything peaking right at the end of the year.
Right.
So I know that's how he likes to coach things.
Yep.
Likes to experiment, see what he's got throughout the year, and then at the end get everything settled.
And then
in
having to
make
make
a
up all these games, you're going to have to make up those
Yeah.
one county district games.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe they can get the district schedule rolling. And it looks like Cascade's doing fairly well.
Right. Cascade's having a good year.
So kudos to
Might
all
mention
these
what I was
kids.
just off there had mentioned to you. Forrest, John Wild is their girls basketball
Yeah.
coach. Forrest is loading up in
that'll be
athletics.
tough. Everything.
I don't know. John's won. I've known him for years. He's won multiple state championships in different places. So Forrest is in it to win it, as they would say.
Yeah. I'm going to talk just briefly, Bill. I know that there's a lot of talk about the transfer portal, and we're going to talk about that in the next segment in college athletics. But high school now seems to have an unofficial transfer portal going on right now as we speak.
They're talking about making it a one-time
Yeah.
transfer rule, which I don't know what it would do to Bedford County, really. It would have an effect. Look what it's going to do in Rutherford
County and Davidson, all the big cities that have
Oof.
multiple high schools. I don't like the direction
I don't
that,
like it either.
that amateur sports. I
No.
mean, your college and your high school kids now, I mean, it's pushed everything down to where when you're in elementary school, it's like you were in high school years
Well,
ago. I
These
mean,
big private schools, Innsworth, what have you,
Right.
CPA. Was it Lipscomb paying a coach $100,000?
Yeah.
What are they paying those players? I don't know. Can they or do they? I don't know.
I don't know.
Is the
I'm-
scholarship
I keep-
for payment?
Yeah, I don't know. I keep wondering about the
I don't like where
NIL
we're.
system.
I don't like where
You know,
we're
it
heading
was
here.
talked about earlier this year. TSSAA was talking about this. This was in the conversation. NIL
Right.
and being able to transfer, and they're talking about making rules.
Not good.
This is not a good.
No.
I mean, I really hate it in college athletics, but you get down to the high
But at
school
some
level,
point, kids need to be kids.
exactly.
Be a kid.
Yeah, they're
Go out
kids.
and play sports, enjoy yourself, and enjoy your high school career.
But until they're 30 years old, they're kids.
That's right.
All
Well,
of 'em.
that's right. But certainly, while they're not in
Yeah, in
school,
high school.
absolutely.
But this thing, I just wonder how much of it. Well, I guess it's all. I don't think a kid at 15, 16 years
No.
old sitting around thinking about how much money he's going to make
No.
playing high school basketball or high
Right.
school football. But the parents and the adults, they're messing things up,
Mhm.
Bill.
I agree, 100%.
It's not looking good.
No.
I hope that TSSAA is smart enough to scale back on this and say, no, these are scholar athletes. These are athletics is extracurricular. It's not the focus of their life at this point. And I'm afraid it's turned into that over the past few years.
And one of the things I'd like to see them do in football, especially, is quit letting so many teams in the playoffs. A
Yeah.
team that's 2-8 or 1-9
Yeah.
should be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
sorry.
If you're in I call them districts, they call them regions now, and you got 4 teams. All 4 are going.
Right.
No. If you're in the top 2.
I mean, I remember times in the old District 8 where you would be 8-2 and miss the playoffs
missed the
because
playoffs.
you lost the 2 wrong
Yeah,
games.
exactly.
And you had 8 wins. You didn't make
Yeah.
it. You go and play the Tell-All Lions Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I
And,
remember.
yeah, and it's drastically changed. I think this mindset of everybody gets a participation trophy,
Right.
and the label of, well, we made it to the playoffs.
Right.
Well, all you had to do was get up out of bed.
We're all winners.
You are all winners. Yeah, but we'll talk about that
Another
time.
time.
All right. Anything else going on in high school sports, Bill? I know.
No, but this next segment, I think we got some big stuff to talk about. Some coaching changes at Tennessee Lady Vols
I know it.
and
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Yeah, big news.
And transfer portal news for Tennessee.
Yeah, a lot
That's
of
not
stuff.
good.
A lot of stuff going on. Let's stop now and hear
Okay.
a word from Dennis Young Insurance. We'll be right back.
What you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
Okay, guys, welcome back in here. We're going to start off by talking some NCAA basketball. Our tournament wound up this past weekend, Monday night, and we got a new champion. UConn pretty much took it to Purdue. Bill, how'd they stop the big man?
I think they let him play, but I think they made him play defense. They made him do things that no one. They didn't let him just sit there.
Yeah,
they made him work.
And I noticed several times they weren't scared to penetrate in the paint with him there. They took it to him and got buckets.
Made a difference when they made him have to play defense, and other teams had just let him sit back.
I think by half he was gassed.
I do too, and I think that was part of the plan.
And they denied him the ball.
Right.
They made him work more on offense.
Right.
Hey, when you got somebody riding on your back,
that's right.
That's one thing. But when you got a guy to your side, fronting you with your arm reaching across, you're in a battle the whole time.
And then when you go after him and make him play some defense and exert himself a little bit, I think you saw quite a difference. And hats off to the UConn coaching staff.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing. They had their game plan. They executed it, and
that's their second tournament in a row, too. First time since Florida did it back in like 06, 07.
Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting shuffle of the deck now that we've got a lot of things happening. Let's talk about Tennessee, Bill. Who are we losing now? I saw some big names.
Well, you're losing to Waka, who came out. That was one of your big post guys. Jonas Adu hit the portal. Freddie DeLone, who was a good-looking freshman that I think we were kind of counting on. DJ Jefferson, who never got to play, been there for 2 years. Not everybody expected him to leave. And then also you got to factor in Connett is gone.
Yeah.
Graduation.
Yeah.
Josiah Stewart James gone. Santiago Vescovi gone. So add that up right there. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gone on a basketball
team. Half the bench
team.
is gone. Half of them. So who's left? And then the next question is, what about Adu? I'm sitting here thinking he kind of faded in the tournament.
He did. He did not play well, but he had a great season. He was second team All SEC. Several nights he put 20, 25 up. I don't know what happened here.
Do you think Barnes benching him a couple games, taking him out, has sent him a message that I'm at my peak. I'm not going to ever fit here. Or
the same thing happened a couple of years ago with a post player. I'm trying to remember the kid's name, but he scores 28 in the NCAA tournament game, and then he doesn't play in the next game. Yeah. And he transferred. And I don't think I can't remember that boy's name, but that was just a couple of years ago. I don't know if that's part of it or if it's an NIL deal where he's going to test the market to see how much money he can get. Wow, and that may be what this all is you're going to see a lot of people hit the portal. Doesn't mean they can't come back. And it's almost like putting yourself up for bid.
I know. And back to this NIL and this transfer stuff, this is not good.
No, it's not good.
It's teaching these kids, well, if I don't like the scenery here, I can move.
Sure.
And it's just.
That's why you don't see Nick Saban in college football. That's why you don't see Roy Williams, Mike Krzyzewski in basketball. All these guys have gotten out.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to do this.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about Kentucky basketball. They're basically starting with nobody. Calipari leaves. He's taking the whole team with him.
Well, as he said, though, I have no team. I have nobody here. But
they're
all going to come.
And he basically said, Arkansas kids, y'all are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, they weren't a bad team.
No.
I mean, Arkansas has had a history of rich basketball for
and here recently, Muslim's made the Elite Eight a couple times, Sweet 16s. He was very successful.
So Calipari comes in and said, none of these guys are going to be here. So you think Kentucky is going to vacate and come to him, the ones that are going to make the top five.
All NIL money.
Yeah, NIL stuff. And then you've got Pope coming from BYU to Kentucky. Let's talk about that move.
All right. You kind of wanted Calipari possibly gone.
Right.
I think
maybe.
Be careful what you wish for. Because if that was the case, you should have had a list of names, and maybe you did, and they kept turning you down.
Yeah.
Turning Kentucky down.
Yeah.
Who does that? Scott Drew's going to take it. He turns them down. Jay Wright said he wasn't interested. I think they got in a hurry here. I can't believe Billy Donovan with the Bulls, if they would have waited, wouldn't have been maybe interested in Kentucky.
I don't know.
Now they had to wait because they're maybe in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But what was the rush to hire this guy? He would have come a month from now because he was 1996, won a national championship at Kentucky. Right. He played there.
Right.
How's he? That is Kentucky, and I heard him say on 104.5 yesterday. Well, it's Kentucky. People are just going to come there. Maybe not. And Calipari is a Hall of Fame recruiter.
Yes.
And an even better NIL player.
Well, you look at the two famous coaches that Kentucky's had in modern basketball era, Rick Pitino and Calipari. Those two guys made that program.
They did.
Rump started it, but you add those two of the Hall of Fame caliber that they are, and they kept the thing going. I mean, they kept it.
And to say Kentucky sells itself, remember Coach Gillespie who went to Kentucky and was terrible?
Yes.
I don't think anywhere sells itself anymore.
No. So,
and maybe you're not the blue blood you thought you were. I think the University of Tennessee found this out with some football hires over the years, thinking their job was one thing, and you wind up with Derek Dooley.
Yeah, but this goes back again to NIL and transfer.
Sure.
You can't build a program. It's changing under your feet all the time.
It's interesting though that Calipari's gone because he wasn't winning enough NCAA tournament games. Too many one and dones, or okay. Mark Pope's 0-2 in the NCAA. He hadn't won an NCAA game at all as a coach.
So they're thinking, well, if we get him here,
I do think he's a good coach and probably X's and O's, maybe better than Calipari. But the bottom line is Calipari got the kids there. Watch what he does at Arkansas.
Exactly.
Forever they will be tied to one another now.
Yeah. Anybody in the Midwest that wants to go to NBA, they're going to go to him.
I'm telling you, Arkansas is going to get it rolling.
Yeah.
Look out.
Arkansas is the team. Kentucky's going to be rebuilding.
Yep.
It's but
I think Arkansas hits the ground running immediately. Yeah, he brings them in.
So what does the SEC look like next year?
It's going to be different. Change. You got that change. You got Texas and Oklahoma coming in,
and then you got Tennessee shuffling the deck. Who have they got signed, or who have they got coming that we don't know about?
They better be hitting the portal too.
I guarantee you they got something coming.
They got something coming.
Yeah, they got.
So who's recruiting anymore? Is it the coach or is it the NIL company like with Tennessee Spire? So is Spire getting the players, or is Barnes getting the players, or is it both?
I don't think that this takes a load off the coach for sure. I mean, hey, go get me some top dogs. Here's a list. They go get them. I mean, it's like recruiting.
Then you go get them. Then you've got to re-recruit the players on your team every year now.
Yeah, it's like they got a team.
Endless cycle.
Yeah, well, it's like they got a team of mercenaries to go out and get them now.
Well, that's true.
Go find them. Go find them. So what else we got,
Bill? Talk about the Lady Vols. Yeah. They made a hire. Kim Caldwell
from Marshall.
1 year there. She was picked 9th in the conference. I think she wins the darn thing. 26-7. That's only Marshall's second time in the NCAA tournament. She was 17-1 in the Sun Belt.
But her overall record is phenomenal.
217-31.
Lost
88% of her games.
Unreal.
That's got to be the highest. Won a national championship, went to a Final Four.
That's got to be the highest percentage winning rate in college athletics.
You would assume so. Now, is it different in Tennessee?
Oh, it's a lot different. You're going to be playing LSU and South Carolina.
But her team score, I think they averaged 80-something points a game.
Yeah.
And they were number 2 or 3 in the country in 3-pointers.
I don't care who they hire, Bill, on the hill. They're going to have to stick with them, give them a chance to get their feet under them. But there's never going to be another Pathead Summit.
There's not. But I think what got Harper was the recruiting. At Tennessee, with the facilities and the history they've got, the recruiting should have been better.
Yeah.
Well, she hit the portal pretty nicely and brought in players, but her recruiting of high school girls probably wasn't where Tennessee wanted it. But and I'm not going to question Danny White because he seems to know how to find coaches.
That's true. But let's go back to our conversation we just had. How much of the recruiting is important in it? Hey, the transfer portal happens with the ladies too.
That's true.
It's shifting into that more and more.
And more and more when you've got the Caitlin Clarks of the world. And,
hey, they're making the headlines as much as the men are now.
Right.
I mean, that's the biggest. The Caitlin Clark deal this past year and last year, that was the talk in March.
The next big player is that girl at Juju, whatever her name is, out of USC. Yeah. She's good.
Yeah.
Freshman.
Yeah. So the WNBA is on the upswing because of all this publicity these big college players are getting. I mean, I heard more talk about that than I did the Final Four men's.
For whatever reason, though, I think there's a drop off to the WNBA. People don't follow it like they do college.
Yeah.
Just like I don't watch the NBA. I watch college basketball, but I can't stand it.
I can't stand to watch the NBA.
I cannot watch it.
I can't watch the NBA. I can't watch the WNBA.
No.
And I can't, there's a lot of things I can't watch.
It's not basketball to me.
No.
It's just not.
No. And you start looking at some of the highlights. I mean,
defense.
These kids, these guys go in taking 4 steps to the basket and it's not traveling. They do whatever they want to.
And shoot threes all day long.
Yeah. Shoot threes and then get out of the way so the other guy can dunk.
Yep.
It's an all-star game.
Right.
All the time. That's all it is. Just stand back and it's almost like a theatrics. I mean, it's just like
we're back in the day of the Lakers and Celtics and the Pistons and even Michael Jordan. It was great entertainment. It's fun to watch. And they played defense and they played hard.
They did play hard. People got
I don't see that now.
No.
I don't see it.
It's not the same. But speaking of that, I've been looking at Keon Johnson. He's with the Nets program still. He's just 22 years old. He's still got a future ahead of him if he can just develop a little bit more and hit the right spot. I've been kind of following him. He has a 2-way contract, so he's got the G League where he pretty much plays, and then they can bring him up into the big league, and he's got
kind of minor league baseball.
Yeah, it's a 2-league. It's a 2-way contract, so it's interesting to watch him. I hope he can catch a break and get at the right spot.
I wish he'd stayed at Tennessee another year to develop.
It would have helped. It would have helped because he would just now be coming out.
Right. But it just stayed another year to learn under Barnes.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
And I mean, that's the same problem with Kennedy Chandler that was at Tennessee. Good looking little guard. Well, where's he at now? He's at Memphis, sitting behind Jay Morant and another guy, and he's never going to play.
No. Well, guys, let's take a quick break here and hear from Kincaid Service Company, and we'll be back, and we're going to talk some PGA Tour golf and Masters Week, and then we're going to get into some pro football. We'll be right back right after this.
Kincaid Service Company is a locally owned family business that has proudly served the Middle Tennessee area since 1934. We have a wide selection of furniture, appliances, electronics, and mattresses for every budget and design taste. We carry the brands that you know and trust, so you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Need financing? We have you covered. With our service department, you can rest assured that we will take care of you after the purchase. Visit our Shelbyville store at 400 Madison Street today.
Okay, welcome back in here. Again, we want to thank our sponsors. We just heard from Kincaid Service Company. Bill, Kincaid's one of those businesses that you just can't beat.
No, you can't beat them. Great service. Got anything you want, they'll go get it for you, and they'll haul the old one off.
And they'll stand behind what they sell you.
And they service it. Something, if it breaks, they fix it. They don't say, "I'll buy a new one."
Right. And some of the big box stores you go to,
it's hard to find anybody can work on anything anymore.
No. And Kincaid's got the team to do it.
Absolutely.
It's Kincaid Service Company here in Shelbyville. All right. Well, Bill, this week we've got it's a big week in professional golf. This week in April every year. Everybody that plays golf and follows golf is glued to the TV to watch what's going on. And we've got the Masters started Thursday. And, of course, Tiger Woods is trying to make his comeback. He's made the cut. He's going to be playing on Saturday. I think he's at 1 over par, and the cut was right at the 5 over par. And we've got Scotty Scheffler, Bryson DeChambeau, and Max Homa, I believe, tied 1, 2, and 3. And there's a side story going on here. Of course, you've got the live golfers that are back. Cam Smith is playing, and you got DeChambeau that's of live golf, and then you've got Scheffler, #1 player in the world. His wife is expecting a baby and could have that child at any time. And they asked him, if you get the call that she's having a baby, what are you going to do? He said, I'm off this course and I'm going to be with my wife.
So his private plane sitting there ready to roll.
Ready to roll. So
did you see those airplanes, by the way?
Oh,
270 private jets.
I know it. It's unreal.
270. Imagine that.
Yeah.
That's an aircraft carrier.
But there's the Golf Channel. This year, ESPN is doing the broadcast on it, which is moved from CBS. And you've got Van Pelt doing a lot of the interviews now, and that's a different sound and a different feel. But I'm sitting here looking at this leaderboard, and I was watching Bryson DeChambeau. Of course, he's with Live Golf. They say he's not going to win because he's with Live Golf. Well, he's tied for #1. He was out driving these guys by 60 and 70 yards in the first 2 rounds. And then Scotty Scheffler comes up there, and he's banging the ball right down the middle of the fairway, and he's spot on. These 2 guys, I feel like, are going to fight for this thing. They're both tied at 6 under par right now. Who you think will win that, Bill?
Scotty Scheffler.
#1 player in the world. All right, I'm going to go.
Unless his wife.
Exactly.
Goes into labor.
Then you've got others that could sneak in there. You've got Max Homa, which is he's been fighting some injuries for a while. He's coming back. He's tied with them. And there's some other names that are, and you can't rule out anybody. Yesterday, the wind was blowing 40 miles an hour on the golf course, and it was a challenge. And it's a miracle that these guys finished at 6 under. But I'm going to take DeChambeau. I think he's going to win it this time. But Bill, I know you're not a big golfer, but no. You're a sports guy.
I am.
So Masters is one of the big deal. It's a big event every year. Now, let's talk about the NFL. Let's talk some Titans. What are you hearing from your source with the Titans?
Well, if they stay at 7 and do not trade that back, I think there's 2 players to watch for. One of them's Joe Alt, the big tackle.
Right.
If he's there, I think they would take him. If he's not there and Neighbors is there, the wide receiver at LSU, I think they're taking him.
Okay. If they see this playing out as the draft unfolds, is there a chance they're going to give up 7 and get two other draft picks in the top?
It just depends on how. Watch the quarterbacks and how they go.
Right.
1, 2, 3. Where does that 4th one go? Can the Vikings trade with the Cardinals or the Chargers? And if they can't, and J.J. McCarthy's still sitting there at 7, we've got a great chance to get out of that.
Yes. So you're thinking the Vikings, maybe?
I think the Vikings, I think the Broncos, I think the Raiders, all of them would be interested in McCarthy and trading up.
Okay. So during last season, okay, and the season before, McCarthy's name came up. Even on the show, we talked a little bit about him. His stock in the draft didn't go up till they started seeing him work out. He was like mid-rounder. Now he's up in the top tier. How did he get there, Bill?
Hype. It happens every year with all these guys.
I know.
And not all these guys are going to be good. But the guy that's fallen here to me is the Penix kid.
Yes.
But when you turn the tape on and
He's
you watch,
the guy, man.
Penix is the guy.
He's the one I would want out of all of them.
I'm not saying I disagree with you at all.
I mean,
I think he throws the football with accuracy.
Yeah.
He's a competitor. Now, the only problem was he's got some injury history earlier in his career.
Yeah. But
I mean, if you think Caleb Williams is all that in a bag of chips, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He opts out of the bowl game at the end. The guy on the other quarterback comes in and threw 5 or 6 touchdowns in that bowl game and was actually looked better than Caleb Williams to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much of that is the scheme of the coach versus I'm just not sure about that one.
Yeah, and I look at McCarthy and I say, does he have all the throws? We don't know. We didn't see him throw the ball like that, and he would take off running quick.
He would.
He was a competitor now. I'll give him that. He's one of those guys.
They just fall in love. Let me tell you somebody else that's going to get drafted here, and it's going to be Joe Milton of Tennessee. Some coach somewhere, and it's probably going to be in the 4th or 5th round.
Yeah.
Saw that big arm,
Yeah.
and they think, I can coach that.
I was reading today.
Just watch. He's going to get drafted.
Well, I was reading today
my buddies going, no, he'll never get drafted.
There's some that's going to take a chance on that arm.
They are.
And then the secondary part of that is he could go to tight end. I read an article this week that's saying as big and fast and as strong as he is, I mean, he's an athlete that can probably play tight end. Look for that. And I'm like, okay, possibly. I've said that about other players, but I never saw it happen. They just fade away. But it's like when Tim Tebow made his comeback, he tried to play tight end. He didn't make it, but I mean, at least the conversation's there. Milton's what, 6'5", 6'6", weighs 240.
Yep.
Fast.
Yeah, got an arm. He can throw the ball 75, 80 yards.
Yeah. All right. So you got to give him a shot. And they always say he can't see the field. Well, maybe he hadn't been coached. Maybe. I mean, he's up at Michigan. He comes to Tennessee, gets set on the I don't know. I don't know what kind of coaching he's had in that.
Well, it was interesting to me here when we were thinking, everybody thinks the Titans are going left tackle. And I do think Alt's an option. But then I look at their 30 pre-visits.
All right.
Where you bring in your players.
Here's some names
here. Well, the only other tackle that we brought in is J.C. Latham of Alabama. That's the only one that's been to the facility up there. So the Oregon State guy that Kenny and I like, the tackle, the kid from Washington, the Mims kid from Georgia, 6'8", 340. None of these were here on an official.
What about this guy right here? What's his name?
This guy is Jordan Morgan out of Arizona. This is more of a second-round guy to where if you took Neighbors, you're going to target him. Now, he had, again, a bit of an injury history, but he can play.
What are they going to do with Neighbors if they get him, though, man? Who goes? Traylon Burks gone?
I don't know. Well, I think you're also figuring for the future, how long does D-Hop here?
Yeah, that's true.
Does he step in his place? Does he step in his place next year?
He's fast. Was he run a 4.3?
And I do think if they take Neighbors, you're looking at Burks being on the bench immediately.
Oh, absolutely. I think Burks is done already anyway.
I hate to say that, but I'm not disagreeing. Although with his staff, I think they're going to scheme him better than we did
That's
before.
True.
Because at Arkansas, he played the slot.
Yeah.
We hadn't really played him at the slot with the Titans. We just throw him out there.
Yeah. All right. So you look at that and you look at Burks. He didn't get on the field enough. I mean, he was always something, nagging injury of some sort.
Concussion, asthma, something.
Something. All right. Let's talk about this receiver-wise. What happened to Kyle Phillips?
I think the new staff's kind of high on him. But again, that's a guy that kept getting hurt too.
I know. Hey, I mean, when he first came out, I said, this kid's going to be great.
And I think they kind of did him a disservice with the punt returns because I think it got in his head fumbling.
Yeah.
And that affected him everywhere else.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? Let's talk about this, is the rule change in the kickoff situation. How do you think that's going to change a roster now?
It's going to be totally different because now I think you're going more running backs.
Yeah.
More of the Pollard and the Spears type back to return your kicks.
Okay, so return specialist, I mean, your punt returner is going to be just a guy on the island by himself, and then you've got a potential backup running back or starting running back fielding the kickoffs.
Yes.
So
that's what I think it's going to be.
I mean, it's going to be exciting. It's going to look different.
Right.
I mean, it's going to, and they're doing this for 1 year on a trial basis. Have you watched any of the UFL?
Yeah, I have. A little bit. I just can't watch it. I just can't watch it. I've tried. I see those uniforms, and it just ain't the same to me. And I've tried to watch it.
You know, Corral is playing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's not doing very well. I always thought he would make it, you know?
Right.
What else you got?
Well,
what surprises do you think we'll see in the draft with the Titans?
I'm surprised they didn't bring in very many receivers. They've only brought in one other one for a visit, which was Roman Wilson. They brought in a bunch of corners. They've been bringing in a lot of running backs, but I've got a super sleeper I think they're very interested in from a small school. A lot of people hadn't heard of. He's from Houston Christian, and his name is Jalix Hunt, 6'4", runs a 4.6 40, 252 pounds. They've had him up there. I think they're really
and he's an edge rusher.
Edge rusher, a
we
guy
gotta
you
have
get the
one.
5th, 6th round. Yeah. Now, we traded a 7th round pick away for a tackle yesterday, Watson from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Which that tells you Bill Callahan won.
Right.
The interesting thing about this kid was he was a tight end in college, 6'5", 270. And he's now 6'5", 311. So he's beefed him up. So obviously Callahan liked him at Cleveland, which kind of tells me that, you know, not that he's going to start. He'll be a depth piece. And maybe it would be nice to have someone that knows his system when you do bring in whoever this new left tackle is to help from a player perspective, a little player coach type deal maybe.
Yeah.
But the roster's turning over. The roster's changing. I see some trade downs. I either think we trade down at 7 or 38 because you're going to want to get that 3rd round pick back somehow.
Okay.
The only way to do it is trade down at some point.
All right. What positions do you think, or do you just who does Bill Anderson think they need to go after position?
Well, we need a left tackle.
Right.
That's for sure. Everybody knows that. I think we could be okay at receiver, but if you could always add receiver, that's fine.
Yeah.
But here's what you got to have: an edge rusher,
a
linebacker, and you need a safety.
And those three.
Those three things are the glaring holes.
That's on my shopping list right now, top of the list.
Yes.
Those 3 positions. And definitely the tackle. That goes without saying, but who knows what Bill Callahan can do with what we got.
That's right.
It ain't going to hurt to have a good talent that comes in through the draft, which could be that alt pick. But those other
But if
3,
Alt's gone, and I think there's a chance Alt's not even there. I think there's a chance the Chargers could take him. The Giants could take him.
Possibility.
I really could see the Chargers doing it. But I think the Chargers are crazy not to take a receiver because they don't have any.
I know. They lost them all. They dealt them all
receivers.
away. So,
they've got against the rookie from last year from TCU they've got that didn't do much.
Right. Well, I think it's going to be interesting to see this play out and the maneuvering that takes place once that draft stops. You know, they've got their play chart ready to go on if this happens, then we're going to do this. And on the fly like that, we're going to see some wild stuff happen, I believe.
Oh, they're always
in the top 10 picks. I think we're going to see a lot of stuff.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah. So we're just, 2 weeks away?
Yeah, it'll be 2 weeks away. Well, less than 2 weeks away because it starts on Thursday. So it's a week from Thursday is the first round.
And it's in Vegas this year. Is that right?
Detroit.
That's right. Detroit.
And then Friday night is the 2nd and 3rd round. And then you got the rest of it on Saturday. Now, I liked it better when it was on Saturday and Sunday.
Right. All right. So who's the number 1 pick?
No, it's going to be Caleb Williams. But I don't think he's the number 1 player.
Who do you think number 1 player is?
Marvin Harrison Jr.
I absolutely agree with you.
It's not a quarterback.
No. I agree with you.
And I like the LSU quarterback probably better than Caleb Williams. Jaden Daniels, I think he's the best quarterback in this draft.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not as high on the kid from North Carolina as a lot of people are. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
And I'm probably like you. I'm on Penix.
Yes, that's the one. If I had to get a quarterback, I'd go after
what's
him.
Lucky for Penix is that odds are he goes low enough here to a good team.
Yeah.
I could see Seattle.
Yeah. They need him.
Grabbing him.
They need him.
And they've got stuff around him, and he could be very successful there. Because think of the quarterbacks over the years that went to the wrong team and were ruined.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that kid's name at Kentucky? Threw it all. Tim Couch.
Yeah.
Had a great college career.
Yeah.
He goes to the Cleveland Browns. His career's run.
Yeah.
What if he had gone to the Pittsburgh Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger had gone to the Browns that
different
year?
story. Different story.
Totally different
A
story.
completely different person in the Hall of Fame coming up.
That's what I think. And I think Roethlisberger ate himself out of the league in 3 years in Cleveland.
Probably so.
I mean, but if Dak Prescott, had he not gone to the Cowboys, where was he at? Probably not playing pro football.
Probably not. Well, Bill, let's wind things up. But before we do, I want to hear from our sponsors one more time.
Absolutely.
And we'll be right back.
What you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding
Cleaners, we provide quality services you can rely on. Located in Shelbyville, we're the area's leading dry cleaner, proudly serving customers throughout Bedford County since 2001. We provide same-day dry cleaning and laundry service as well as tuxedo rentals. For customer convenience, we offer delivery and also have a drive-through and overnight drop box.
For all your dry cleaning needs, call Corner Cleaners.
Cade Service Company is a locally owned family business that has proudly served the Middle Tennessee area since 1934. We have a wide selection of furniture, appliances, electronics, and mattresses for every budget and design taste. We carry the brands that you know and trust, so you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Need financing? We have you covered. With our service department, you can rest assured that we will take care of you after the purchase. Visit our Shelbyville store at 400 Madison Street today.
Okay, Bill, we got a busy week coming up, trying to make up a lot of
Yep.
games from this past week being a washout. Hopefully we can get some of those in, and we want to encourage everybody to get out and support your local teams.
Like I
All
said, I
of Bedford
believe
County
Shelbyville's got
schools.
Franklin County today, and
Right.
I'm sure a lot of teams are having to play on Saturday that would
That
work,
will.
that wouldn't
Yeah.
have before to make up stuff.
So they're having to double up to make up some of these. So get out and
And that gets
support
tough
these.
with your
Yeah.
pitching staff because if you're having to play again 5 games in 3 days
Yeah.
or 2 games, arms and pitch counts and all that, that's tough.
All right, guys, thanks for watching this morning. Get out, support your local teams, and we'll be back same place, same time next week.